Hello, everyone. Welcome to EWN's A Meditation a Day. And we get to come here the first Monday of every month. Well, Master Spiritual Teacher, GP Walsh, takes us through a guided meditation. And along with that, GP, we always like to have a theme. And what are we going to start with? And being it July 4th today, so for all the fellow Americans, we're celebrating. And we thought it would be beautiful to talk about unity, United States, and that feeling of being a part of and together, and where that starts even, well, with us. Where does that start with us? So, GP, my opening question before we go into the guided meditation is like, I almost can feel like what it would feel like if I feel separated from, and I don't feel united, I don't feel a part of. And I don't know where it is in the body. Maybe that's where you take us. I don't know. But is it that we're experiencing, we can feel what it feels like to be separated because we know what's natural to feel united?
That's really very interesting, because the sense of separation is not in the body. The body knows no such thing as separation. It is forever one with everything, and it never has the experience of separation. Separation is a concept that we've laid on top of the body that makes us believe we're separate when we're not. And that belief creates feelings that would be there if, in fact, you were separate, which means isolated, alone, fearful, afraid of rejection, afraid of going without, lack. I mean, not just separation from others, but separation from abundance, from what you need, from everything. Everything becomes something out there that needs to be gotten. And this is purely conceptual. The body does not know that. The body is forever at one. If you look at the body and really kind of zoom in on it, you are looking at literally trillions of cells that are united in a single in a single functioning. Right? And it's amazing, no matter what you do, if I reach like this, some other part of my body is responding very subtly to keep balance. No matter what I do, the whole rest of the body is involved in it. There's no such thing that you can do that the entire body is not involved in it.
That is so true.
It is one single functioning. And what's really beautiful about it is that the functioning of every cell is completely determined by the whole, and yet the whole is made of the cells. This is one of the great mysteries. The Buddha called it dependent arising. That the cell didn't arise independently and find a body to get into. It's as if the body design was there in the first place, and all the cells were created in order to put it together like a car. I can see where people get the idea of, intelligent design. They just kind of get it, because it is intelligent. They just get it twisted because they want the intelligence that made it to be their particular God, who is not a particularly nice God. But but I digress, as I am prone to do. If we recognize that the sense of separation is an illusion, it just appears that way to the senses. That is, the senses perceive things, right? And we have just gotten this illusion that what we're perceiving is something completely independent from ourselves, and it's not true. And so the united state is when you begin to see this functioning unity everywhere, and recognize, well, that must include me. I'm like the cell in an infinite body, right?
I like that you said that. It must include me. Like it feels good. And you just reminded me of something. Just a quick question before we go. So hang in there, everybody. We're going to get to that meditation. But when you said about the body doesn't know that sense of separation, it reminded me of phantom pain when somebody has perhaps a limb removed, or they lost their foot or their finger or whatever, but it's there still. Is that just is it an impression, I guess, or an energy of still union? It's still united.
Well, I believe that it is, in fact, energetically, it's still there.
Mm.
The physical structure isn't there to give it form, but the energy of wholeness is always there. And so even if for some reason, we lose a particular function, it doesn't mean the wholeness of you isn't still there. Right? We assume it is simply because we think the body is all we are. But the body is a manifestation of a much more subtle energy. And that energy is always complete and will eventually, create something else, right? Like the salamander grows a new tail. Us, we just grow a whole new body at some point.
Right. Yes. And so with that, I like that we are not separate from anything like just lack so yes, we want to be separated, lack, but separated from abundance. And it's almost like if we can not imagine, but if we could feel that feeling of we are not separate from abundance, we were created from and love. It's not. And so if we feel like, oh, I'm feeling a bit separated from it, I'm not a part of it, or I'm not accepted and I've failed or something, then that's the illusion.
Yeah.
And that we just,
it's interesting because you if it really this is a subtle one, but the feeling of lack presupposes a feeling of wholeness.
yes.
It's just in its negation rather than its presence. It's in its absence rather than its presence. But if you really look closely at it, the underlying is an intuitive sense of being whole. If it wasn't, lack wouldn't feel uncomfortable.
Right.
Right. So there's this intuitive sense of which lack is a negation, which means, in fact, it's still present. I often use the example of, like, if you cut a hole in the wall shaped like a triangle, you would refer to it as a triangle, but there's nothing there. It's the negation of a triangle. It's form without the manifestation of it, right? But it is a triangle. That's a negation, or the negation, like the negative of a negative in photography, right? Don't have much of those right anymore because it's all digital, but they still use film because it has a unique property. And when you take the picture, it's a complete negation. Everything is its opposite. Everything is its absence, right? And then you have to make the positive of it, which is the process of turning it back. But it's always present. It's either present in its absence, or its presence in its presence. And that sounds strange to say, but if it didn't exist, we couldn't even conceive it.
Right.
And if we didn't have an innate sense of it, we would feel no discomfort over its absence.
Yes. Yeah.
So that we are not separate from it. Even the absence of it is proof of its existence.
I love that. Oh, if you guys are loving that, please share a comment. Yes, I already feel more united. I already feel more together now. Again, so we'll invite you to lead in meditation around this and let everybody kind of have that. Yeah, let it set in and roll around, and I will be back when we're all through.
Oh yeah, that's right. I got to.
This is not the other side.
I solo me now. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Okay. So everyone, I'll just take a nice deep breath and let your attention move inside into the body. And the most important part of this is to simply be present with whatever you happen to be feeling. Whatever it is. Just feel it in its pure, raw state. You're just feeling. The mind will be active, Especially if you've already been doing things today, your mind maybe have some momentum going, which simply means there's a flow of thought happening. And as we turn our attention into the feeling, it tends to remove attention from that flow of thought, which is the normal energy of our day. There'll be some kind of resistance to the attention moving away. It'll wanting to pull us back, but just say, thank you, I don't need you right now. And see if you can just feel your body. This extraordinary dance of trillions of cells, all moving in union. And it has this particular energetic signature to it that you can feel. And notice that your hand feels different than your foot. You can identify it simply by the kinesthetic sense of it. And you don't need a word for it. And then notice that they work together. They're two aspects of one thing. Your body is both one and many at the same time. Quite a mystery. But there it is. Just take that in. And let your attention just kind of settle in there and relax into it. And the old habit energies of thought will be there, which include judgments of your body, expectations. You might say, well, what am I going to get out of this meditation? Nothing. So let go of any expectation. And when I mean let go, don't push away. I mean simply take your hands off of it. Notice that it's there. But just let it be there and keep your attention on this kinesthetic sense of being. Notice you don't need any words for it. This pure experience. This is what a newborn feels. Undifferentiated consciousness. That means a whole. It hasn't been broken into pieces. Just feeling the body. If you take away all the words, I have to use words to direct you, but take away the words and just the feeling of it, and you'll notice that that feeling is not divided. And then see if you can defocus the inner eye. Kind of like when you're looking at a nice vista from a mountain or standing on the ocean, and you kind of defocus your eyes to take in everything. So you're not directly focused in front of you. It's the peripheral vision and this big panoramic. You can defocus your inner eye to simply take in the body all at once as a singular event. We're looking at the forest and the trees at the same time. And then also take in the environment that you're in, the experience of the room, the sounds in the room. Notice that the room has a kind of energetic feel to it as well. You can sense the shape of it and size. You can feel the things that are pressing against your body. Maybe your hands are in your lap, the chair under you. Maybe you're laying down. You might even be moving or in your car. Just take in all of the experience without thoughts and therefore without division. And just notice that from this place of pure witnessing, it is completely undifferentiated. The feeling of your hand, the feeling of the room, while there's a slight difference in the energetic signature, the point of experiencing is singular. Different vibrations of the same one. And notice I'm not putting ideas in your head. This doesn't require imagination or visualization. You're just looking past the mind or thoughts and concepts to the actual undifferentiated experience of your own being. Notice it's direct. Notice also you didn't create it. And you're doing absolutely nothing to maintain it. It's the most effortless thing in the world, to be. And again, while there are differences in the vibration, notice also the similarity. Like they're all emanating from the same singularity. And then see how far you can extend that inner eye. See if you can feel outside the room you're in. It's not a requirement. You don't have to, but just see how far you can stretch it out. Without using imagination, just really feeling. And I also want you to notice that whatever it is you're feeling, you're clearly identifying it without thoughts. it's clear that the feel of the room, something outside the room, piece of furniture or an object in the room, your foot, your hand, that you can clearly identify them, and you don't need a thought or a name to do it. You may even notice there's some vibrations that are so subtle, we don't have names for them. And yet, you easily identify them. And now, just see if everything you are feeling, however big it's gotten, or however small, it doesn't matter. Notice how that doesn't exist on its own. It's not just kind of vibrating out there in empty space. That it's all happening within you. It is a functioning of a unified whole. What is that whole? What is that one? Can it be there without you? Then you must be that one. The medium in which the vibrations are vibrating. Like the currents in the ocean are one with the ocean. The vibration of the body, the room, the chair, anything you've sensed outside. The vibration of thought and emotion are all one with you. You are the medium in which they vibrate. And now, let go of the vibrating. And just be the still ocean. Take a deep breath. And notice that we're not coming back, we're not leaving here, we're not going in and out of states. We're simply allowing attention to take in something that used to be thought of as outside. But in fact, it's all in you. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Yeah, it's not like we're welcome back. It's here we are.
Here we are.
Oh, that was so beautiful. I had the pleasure of feeling another experience because my kitty cat tiptoed in, but I stayed with it with this guided meditation, and I just wanted to feel what I was feeling from her now, being united, like in this united way. She's still her, I'm still me, but we are still one. And that brought a question I was thinking about, because you said about we're seeing the trees as well as the forest, not just zoom and then no, or zoom out and then no. So when we feel others, and we do feel united with others, trees, plants, fish, birds, bugs, cats, people, are we feeling our energy about them, or are we feeling their energy as us?
The us and them is the illusion.
Oh.
You are simply feeling the unity of being. We are one, which is a strange thing to say. We are one. And that's simply because we conceive of one as being as numeric, which means one as opposed to many. Right? But the great mystery is that the one and the many are the same thing. One and many are actually concepts overlaid on the singularity of being. You and your experience can't be separated, can they?
No, they cannot.
And so whatever you're experiencing is you. And you could look at it as, Lisa or GP, but those are just different names for the same one.
Right.
And so the experience anyone is having is simply the experience of the whole from one perspective. So you're seeing yourself from a different perspective, and when you do, you see me. When I see myself from a different perspective, I see you. But that self that's seeing is the same self.
Right. Oh, wow.
You notice in the meditation, if you get there, that the thought of me and other disappears. There's just this presence.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's very subtle, and the mind really wants to turn it into a me and an other, but the presence doesn't have a me or other. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have a boundary.
I was just thinking of the word boundary, as in like when the states, here's the line, now you're in this state, now you're in this state, or country, or
well,
whichever.
It's a perfect example. It's total illusion. Go look for the border between Canada and America, and you won't find it. There's no line on the ground somewhere. It's completely conceptual. It's completely illusory.
Yes. I think I really did think, I never thought about it before, but when I think about it, I'm like, wow, I think I did imagine a line there, there's got to be, right? And so that's the way with us. We think our body is the line, is the border.
We think the body is the boundary, and it isn't. It's imaginary, just like the boundaries between states and countries.
So beautiful. Well, thank you for that beautiful, is that a guided meditation? You know what? We can call it whatever we want. Thank you for that experience.
We can. It's a meditation, but it's also an inquiry. Right?
Yes.
Right? If I was just like meditation, it would be just allowing, which would be just being present with what you're feeling, which is where we start. Right? Okay. But then I invite you to take another look, right? To notice thought and to set it aside, to experience without giving it a name. Right? And what do you find? It's an inquiry.
Thank you for actually helping us to hear that. I love that, because there's, the meditation and then the self-inquiry. And we invite you to share any comments that you felt, what came up for you to inquire, anything that you're feeling, or just the peacefulness. So thank you so much, GP. We will continue to feel united and just go back in whenever we need that. Well, thank you, EWN, for this. And we'll be back next first Monday of the August. There we go, of August. Bye, everyone. Right.